We tend to think of business writing as just a soft skill, right? Kind of like an admin task we just have to get through. But what if that's completely wrong? What if it's actually one of the most powerful and most overlooked performance tools you have? In this explainer, we're going to see how to turn our writing from something that creates costly friction into a real commercial superpower.
Wow, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Every single email, every report, every proposal, it's a high stakes moment. The words you pick are either pushing your work forward, building momentum, or they're actively slowing things down. It really makes you think. There's no such thing as neutral communication. It's either helping or it's hurting.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the high cost of all that noise. Then, we'll see why clarity is basically a superpower. After that, we'll get into the writer's discipline. And finally, we'll wrap up with your key takeaways.
Okay, so let's dive into the problem. And I'm not just talking about a few typos. I'm talking about noise. That ambiguity and clutter that just floods our inboxes and honestly creates some very real and often hidden risks for us at work. I mean, we've all gotten this email, haven't we? It's a giant wall of text that somehow says everything and nothing at the same time. And the most important piece of information, the thing that needs attention right now, is buried somewhere in paragraph 5. So a busy manager skims it and completely misses the point. So, what happens then? What's the real cost when that one critical point gets buried? Believe me, it's not just a little hiccup. The ripple effects can be absolutely huge. And this is exactly what happens. It's like a domino effect. The project keeps moving, but it's based on a flawed understanding. Then, weeks later, when that risk finally explodes, you've got a full-blown crisis on your hands. The craziest part, the root cause wasn't the work itself. It was a simple failure of communication. That's the real cost: friction, rework, and a serious hit to your credibility. This is such a great point. We think we're saving time, right? Just dash off that email and move on. But then come the follow-up questions, the clarification meetings, all those "what did you mean by this" replies. That's the real time suck. We end up paying for that one unclear email again and again and again. Okay, enough with the doom and gloom. Let's flip this around and talk about the solution. Because this is where we stop thinking of writing as a chore and start seeing it for what it is: a serious commercial advantage. It's how we can turn that cost into a real driver of performance. So let's be super clear about what we're aiming for. Good business writing, it's not about sounding smart or using big words. It has 3 simple jobs, and 3 jobs only. Inform your reader, persuade them, and, this is the big one, prompt them to take a specific action. That's it. That's the whole game. And when you nailed that clarity, the benefits are real, tangible business results. You get faster approvals, so projects actually get off the ground. You have fewer misunderstandings, which means less rework, and you can see risks coming a mile away. And hey, it even cuts down on the overall email traffic. And that's a win for everybody's sanity, right? And listen, this isn't a skill for just one type of job. No way. The impact is huge across the board. If you're a manager, clear writing speeds up your decisions. If you're a tech pro, it helps you turn complex stuff into real action. And if you ever talk to clients, it's the absolute foundation of trust. Just imagine you're a manager for a second. Your main job is to set a clear direction. Well, a sharp, well-written one-page summary can get your team aligned way faster than a rambling hour-long meeting. It's all about respecting everyone's time. And this example is golden, especially for you technical folks out there. Instead of drowning people in data, you just translate all that complexity into a simple choice with clear consequences. This lets decision makers actually make a decision instead of just asking you for yet another report. Now, if you're working with clients, this is everything. Every single email, every proposal, it's all building or breaking that relationship. When your writing is clear, you set clear expectations, you avoid those annoying arguments over vague wording, and you just come across as competent and confident. It's probably the most powerful tool you have for building trust. Okay, so how do we actually do this? Well, the best part is this isn't some magical talent you're born with. Not at all. It's a discipline. It's a practical process that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and use. So let's walk through the steps. So here it is, a super simple 4-step process. 1. Clarify your purpose and who you're talking to. 2.
Structure your thoughts for the reader. 3. Draft with your ABCs in mind. That's accuracy, brevity, and clarity. And 4. The most important step of all, edit. Ruthlessly. It sounds weird, but slowing down to plan actually helps you write way more effectively and faster in the long run.
This chart is so important because it completely busts a huge myth. Let's be honest, a lot of us were taught that sounding professional means using formal, complicated language. But the reality is the total opposite. If you want to influence someone, you need to be easily understood. You need to use plain English and focus 100% on what the reader needs. That's what real authority sounds like. And this quote brings us right back to that critical final step, editing. Look, the first draft is just for you. It's about getting your thoughts out. But the editing, that's for your reader. That's where you cut all the fluff, you sharpen your point, and you make sure your message lands perfectly. The real magic happens in the edit. All right, let's boil all of this down to the key takeaways. If you only remember 3 things from this whole explainer, make it these 3 principles. This is how you turn your writing into a real superpower. Okay, takeaway number 1. Writing is not a support task, it's a management skill. Full stop. Every single word you write is shaping the decisions being made all around you, whether you're the boss or not.
Number 2, speed comes from structure, not from rushing. It's like that old saying, measure twice, cut once. Plan first, then write. Taking that extra minute up front to clarify your purpose and structure your thoughts will save you hours of headaches later.
And finally, number 3. This one's a bit of a hard truth, but it's maybe the most important. It doesn't matter what you intended to say. It only matters what your reader understood. The responsibility for clarity is 100% on you, the writer. If they get it wrong, the writing failed. So, I'll leave you with a question to chew on. If intent doesn't matter, think about the last few emails you sent. If you judge them not by what you meant, but by the actions they actually produced, how would they stack up? How well is your writing really performing?